Greeks. Thank you on the eve of our demise, or just our. I guess this is like pandemic plus. What's this world without some chaos? Without some, it's like putting us in a microwave oven and just hitting to like just, to blow us up basically. So, this has been, I figured this would kind of die out, but I guess not. But the World War III energy, 1960s is back again. So it gives you kind of an idea of how they go back in time a little bit. They go back to the 80s, they go back to the 70s, like with the gas energy, and now they're going back to the 60s. I think it was the 50s, 60s. I know it was during the 60s, but I feel like it was the 50s too. But either way, it's like the Cold War all over again to a certain level. So they have to mess with us in some form or another, right? Doesn't mean they're going to do it, but why not just, jeez. I guess the bunkers are going to be selling like hotcakes, and then nothing will happen. I guess we'll find out soon enough. I guess December. I guess maybe before then. I don't know. Yeah, have a nice holiday. We can have a cookout outside when everything is imploding. Maybe you can make a nice barbecue. So who knows? Who knows where this is all going to go? Probably stay in Ukraine area for the most part if anything does occur, but I'm not trying to put out propaganda or anything like that. But who knows? They only, like I said, the aliens can't do everything. Like I said, the aliens got their own problems. I mean, yeah, they got to stop us from blowing ourselves up, but they can't stop everything. Because they do a lot of stuff here they should not be doing. So. Yeah, obviously have the good aliens, but still the good aliens kind of let a lot of things slide here. So they don't want to get their hands dirty. So yeah, it's a complicated situation, as you can see. So who knows? I mean, if the aliens do show up at where our world is right now, so you have a world of chaos. They're complaining about this presidential election and like, do you have any power over that anyway? I mean, we do, but people are not taking their power for it. So, we're kind of, we're not taking our power back, not worldwide. Of course, we don't know how to do that. Well, you end the chaos, basically. You end the drama, you heal the drama, and you try to come together at least on an energy level. Good luck with that. So, you never know. You never know. But if the aliens show up here, it'd be like something that you've heard in, like with the Anunnaki. They just start coming here and just screwing around. I mean, if they're doing it now, but if they were here physically, it won't be any different. So I doubt, because we're chaotic, so we'll just piss them off. They might come here with good intentions. Our world will find a way to make them mad. So. As you can see, they'll go on Twitter and cancel the aliens or whatever, or cancel something, find something wrong with them, tell everybody it's CGI or whatever nonsense it is. And then, who knows, maybe the aliens would just wipe it. I do feel that as the aliens would get so mad, they'll just threaten to wipe us out, just like they did back in the past. I wonder why. So, if the Russians are not going to blow us up, the aliens will. So that's why I don't see them here. But obviously, they're behind the scenes messing around with us all the time. And of course, our, I don't know, maybe in the next 1,000 years, maybe 2,000, eventually you'll be able to see the demonic energies. Demonic energy is talked about, but not really, fully explored. Meaning it's the possession of people. Like teachers get possessed, kids get possessed, parents everybody gets possessed. Not everybody, but there's a lot of possessions going on. You go to a local bar, possessions are there all the time. You just walk right into that. Not everybody gets possessed, but that's why they call it spirits. But But become more aware of those type of things. Of course, obviously, your regular society would just laugh it all off, and then wonder why they're drunk and depressed and everything, and so on. It's great in it. But the idea is for us to eventually see these beings that are screwing around with us. The demonic energies, the parasite beings that call themselves world leaders, the UN, just see creature beings walking around. That's like one. I mean, that's when it's game over. They can't hide anymore. But we're nowhere near that. I mean, seriously. I don't know how that works exactly, but we have to come to a level where these beings can't hide from us anymore. You ever hear about the reptilians and they walk around as humans and all that? Yes, but it's all in human avatar, so it's a little bit harder to decipher. I mean, you can tell, especially the politicians that are drunk all the time. You can see the demonic energies there, but they actually see that person turn into a creature. They kind of do it. You see it now. They just call it old age or something like that. But to really have the creatures show themselves, that's what we're working towards. Now, good luck on telling that, you bring a kid into the world. It's like, by the way, first off, World War III is on its way. And we're trying to get demonic beings to show themselves here. You glad to be here? So, that was Priscilla. She's back there somewhere. Oh, there she is. There's a little bit of preview there. So yeah, it's a complicated reality we're in. There she. Yeah, it's Priscilla. So, and also the Hitler South America energies. I'm kind of reluctant to put that in the title because there's so much censorship on everything. Obviously, talk about politics. That's very sensitive. Jeez. It's ridiculous. And how are we going to handle these aliens when they show up anyway? How's that work exactly? If you can't handle the politics, how are you going to handle the aliens? How does that work exactly? It's not going to work. But about Hitler still being alive, at least not now, but because Argentina was Chile. A lot of this is covered up, obviously. But there is a known of a presence of a Nazi presence there, even now. And of course, definitely around the 60s, the 50s. I think the 60s was really strong, actually. But they don't really have much evidence. I don't think they have. Who knows? I'm not an expert. But I don't think they really have much evidence that Hitler was there. Maybe, I guess there's some experts that say he did, kill himself in Berlin. Others might say he didn't. I mean, how hard is it to fake something like that? I mean, the whole idea is to end the war. And hopefully this is him. It looks like him. I don't know if it was burned or what it was. So I won't get into details of that. But the conspiracy theory of Hitler being in South America might not be all that far-fetched. Obviously, it's very protected, controlled, But how hard would that be? So if he was in South America, I feel like he was also in Africa. Now, those things are not the easiest to tap into. I mean, you can channel somebody, but then you get, you can't really prove it. It would be nice if you could, but, I do feel like there was if he was there, he was also in Africa too, which how many people are looking there? So, like Berlin, that's completely gone pretty much. And the Nazis, the officers are, they're not stupid. Of course, they are to some level, I guess. But South America and Africa. I'm not sure where I'm at. South Africa. Yeah. Lovely. So it's another destination. But yeah, the Argentina energies. Obviously, there's not. I think they block out a lot of stuff that happened there with the Nazis. It's like they don't really, they keep it all quiet. But I do feel like the Nazis did keep an eye on the obviously the Russians, but also the CIA. So yeah, to this day, I don't think they've stopped to a certain level. Of course, they do run some of the governments in Chile and Argentina also. So, which helps with the cover up. So, you just lay low. You go there, you lay low. So basically, tapping into a timeline like that with Hitler being there, what do? You shave the mustache and then you lay low. You might keep the mustache maybe if you're with your own associates, so you keep yourself hidden overall. But you never know. It's highly possible. Why not? I mean, you see, our U.S. government, obviously, the credibility of that is just grand. So, I mean, that's just, yeah, we just have the best government money can buy, right? So, yeah, how hard is it to cover this stuff up? Not that hard. Of course, you have, yeah, some of it. There was a Project Paperclip. What is it when the Nazis came over? The scientists and all that. I mean, some of them are horrible. So, of course, they're not going to put them on TV and hang out with Walt Disney and all that. They were just torturing Jews and everything. So, what the fuck? So, yeah. And also the Gaia connections. I think some of this stuff is just, I feel like it's just hard for some people to take in. Like the election coming up not next year, the year after. So I'm going to take it very personal. And just corruption has to do what corruption's got to do until humanity wakes up, which who knows when that'll be. It's going to be a while. And the aliens showing up here, I know people want the aliens, but the world is, it's not exactly kind. Like I say, when the aliens tap into our energy and start showing themselves, they start losing their frequencies also. It depends. This world is obviously really good at lowering energies. So we're just a chaotic planet. So you can send love all you want, but still, yeah, obviously, now you do live in kind of like a fantasy world. It just, it's just hard for someone to take some of this in, of course. That's all right. Whatever works, but to get to the Gaia frequencies, it's just reality, I guess, is just hard to take. Yeah, I feel like reality is just hard for someone to digest. So the World War III energy doesn't mean it's going to happen. But either way, the propaganda is here. So it went from the pandemic to the end of the world, and welcome to Earth. It's like, geez, this world it's just showing its DNA. It's showing the parasitic beings that are here doing a lot of this stuff. They just want us to implode ourselves, drive ourselves insane. The chaotic energy. So many are driven to that chaos frequency. They can't let it go. Worried about the future and all that, and just it can be healed, but not easily. So it's just a lot of I don't know. It's just we got to go through what we need to go through. So raise on Tony Conner print sessions schedule. We have the shop here. I'm like on the 23rd somewhere. Same situation here. We also have the Sedona. I'll be there. Others will be there also. Yep. So we have speakers there, healers talking about the vortexes and everything. We got tickets here, and just home away from home, you can say something different. It's not all going to be work. It's going to be laid back also. We have the webinar and behind the scenes. So, yeah, it's just either way, for those that want to know how this gets, I don't know, everybody has their own point of view. But either way, we're being put into the 1960s for right now, at least until all this comes to an end. So, Russia's always been kind of a weird one with this war. It's like they could have just hit the button. So there's something else going on there. It's not making itself clear completely of what they're doing. I'm not sure if I'll be able to tap into it fully, at least not publicly. So South American Hitler energy would just happen to South America or something around those lines, and connected to the Gaia frequencies. So connected to the WW3 frequency. Shit. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's a good time for a cookout. If they start throwing the bombs like that, just radiation. I think can probably can cook anything. So as long as you're wearing a radiation suit, which I don't think they're putting out there right now. Yeah, like radiation pills. But what the hell is that going to do? So it's like what? Radiation pills or the suit? Just walk around with a hazmat suit or radiation suit. Shit. Welcome to Earth. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, like I said, chaotic beings here love this stuff. And people just get all built up for it gets views, it gets attention. And it's like, do you see what the hell they're doing? They're just getting you guys all riled up, fighting among each other. And people fall for it. So until you be able to clear it. So like the presidential election energy, clear that energy, which is not easy. May take it. They're just not there yet. So I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for like creature beings to walk around, like anything big, like a 9-foot tall bug. At least you get an idea of who's here. So yeah, we're not ready for that one yet. But you never know. Maybe in China that happens. It happens here and there, but not in the full level. So, well, you don't have a government official that's a big parasite being. Not yet, at least. So, here we go. Blessings. Grease you, a consciousness of, yes, the end of the world. There's no end of the world. It's just basically a minor reset, you can say, but some do need to go. Well, it's a wake up call. So you do like the end of the world, Cold War, Third World War III. Some are just really like they're really resetting themselves. Like, wow, I need to wake up and do something with my life or whatever it might be. So it does show how fragile this planet is, and it allowed this energy to come in. So society is not everybody here, but there is still many that feast off that frequency. So yes, you have maniacs from other versions of Earth who've actually accomplished it, the end of the world. So we are seeing that to some level. But it's up to you to find your play. Like what is it that you need to learn from all this? Everyone's different. What is it that you need to, what kind of life do you want to live? I mean, at least that you might not always have the power to change your life completely, put yourself into like a paradise reality. But basically, it's like, are you centered with yourself? It's like whatever happens, you're good with yourself. That is really important. It's like whatever it is that you are just okay. If something happens, that's well, but if it does, that you feel like okay, whatever you need to feel like you need to accomplish in your life that you can get to. Some feel extremely unfulfilled because they want their power back, like their energy, their magic, and some of them to have their literally their magic removed because they misused it in previous lifetimes. They don't remember though. Some are like obsessed with having their, higher dimensional energies, the metaphysics of the fourth and fifth dimension, and it got removed for various reasons. So they're kind of like sitting in the corner, envious of others, and not quite focusing on themselves. They're seeing it, but they're not quite fully understanding it. But the cold world energies some things can be healed, yes. The alien energies can only do so much here. Some of them, they can try to stop certain situations, but they can also be stopped also. Not to say that will happen, not to say the end of the world will occur, but think of it as a reset for the individual if you wish to discover that within yourself. So it's just, but there is going to be some scares. It's the way it is. Well, this also shows this world is still hasn't quite always learned its lessons either. The bigger picture, because it's still chaotic energy. So you can say the teachers of this planet are getting tired of humanity's frequency. So it's kind of like a teacher with a wooden stick. Some might not want to hear that, but it's not always for everyone. But it is kind of mad at certain individuals that are rowdy, that are causing difficulties, and things can be a lot calmer. So it's a threat. Doesn't mean it'll occur, but the threat is serious because, like any other teacher, it's there to, for others to figure themselves out. Of course, there's always going to be different points of view of this. You can argue about it in this lifetime, other lifetimes. Some are arguing about the same thing for years on throughout their lives. You can have 20 lifetimes, 100 lifetimes, and still arguing about the same thing. So, especially when it comes to a world of implosion, obviously this world has not been destroyed yet, and not likely to occur. But lessons do need to occur here. Well, basically, it doesn't mean the negativity will end just yet. Humanity, in some ways, does find a way to dig itself into a hole. An angry hole, you see that in social media. There's a lot of infighting there. And just finding peace is very difficult for many. And finding that peace and tranquility can be discovered is up to you. And just there's always going to be differences, but just settling them, because there's beings here triggering people. Obviously, that's what's causing a lot of the ruckus you see on social media at this time. And it does have some good. The social media does let people vent, but also show their true colors. But there's also, there's a lot to, still much more clearing to do, as you can see. Brings you the consciousness of South America. There is a influx of mind control beings. Yes, your Nazis, rulers of your world, and still have a great influence. But of course, they changed their last name, changed their looks, started companies, and stay in the background. And you're seeing that currently, especially genetics that's going on. They're still trying to create a master race. That has not ended. So those that they don't feel, but you have to be chosen for this master race. And that's why you see some of these celebrities that look like, they're almost, at least on a physical level, perfect. Obviously, their mental is a totally different situation there. A lot of them are going crazy. But it's on a physical level, they look quite decent. So the master race energy is still here. It hasn't quite left just yet. What hasn't been uncovered yet, as there's still a maze of understanding here that has not quite been dived into. Obviously, being distracted, look at this TV show, listen to that music, and distract you from yourself. Of course, music can also help you find yourself, but it has to be the right type of music to do so. It is a lot of digging around. It's basically as society starts to ask more questions, dig into your reality. Of course, you're not always sure what to ask, but there are like your Nazis in South America. The more people ask questions, slowly that energy can start revealing itself. But would you believe it is another story. But every once in a while, the truth does come out, but it might be so outlandish people have difficulties understanding. Obviously, always not going to have the most proof, because proof is being kind of destroyed there because they don't want you to know what's happening there. Of course, Africa has your England does a lot in Africa, similar to like what happened, World War II. English, they're doing a lot of things in Africa, slave camps, things like that. Obviously, China is not much different in a lot of ways. There are still Holocausts, well, not little, but there's still Holocausts going on around your world, as you know. A lot of it is kept away from you, especially like the Muslims are interfered with, great, but it's just still a divide. And this has to do with who are doing these things. That's more of your controllers of your Earth, because they know they can lower the frequencies of your planet. So that's why you have like China with the slavery and all of that, because it's lowering your frequencies here. It's not just about cheap goods. Yes, that's big, but how they're treating humans. It's showing power. A lot of that is a reptilian frequency. Not all of it. It doesn't mean all reptilians are like that, but some reptilians are known to be guarding slave planets. But to have a slave planet, you need some slaves, especially those that are starved, that live in bunks, next to each other in horrific situations. And that is, other versions of Earth that consumes most of the planet. And some of you actually come from those places. And you're here to expose a lot of that also. So, yeah, some slaves go from one world to the other. They haven't quite break that timeline just yet, but sometimes they take those lifetimes to show people. It's like, I was a slave on this earth and nobody cared. And I'm trying to put awareness to it, and it became a slave, and people are not noticing it. They're noticing to a certain level, but it still obviously doesn't mean not everybody's here to save the world, obviously. But become a little bit more aware. Yeah, you don't have to go like empty your bank account to save the planet or anything like that. Just become a little bit more aware. What is speaking to you, because you're also healing it at the same time. The knowledge that you wish to, like the World War II energies. Well, some of you do have spiritual vibrations, as you know, and you can connect these energies and slowly bring it out into the open, whatever it might be. Even the Atlantean knowledge is becoming known here and there. It's still kind of scattered overall. So obviously people have things to do in their lives. They have to make a living and all that we don't quite understand. But there is still deep knowledge here that's hidden that can be resurrected. Obviously also there are trolls here that are trying to bury everything, cause conflict here. A lot of them are under mental control. Some don't even have the strongest mental capacity, so they're easy to be a troll. They just yes, live off of chaos. That's their drive. It's just to divide. Greens is the energies from Gaia. Greens, you. Well, the point of this, what has many points on why this occurs. It's just, yes, for humans to discover their darkness. Yes, not to judge, but to let you dive into your own life where it needs to go. Now, there are many that feel like they are wasting their lives, but they're also contracts. You have contracts with your families. Sometimes you have a family that's violent and misleading, is to reflect on them, their darkness. You go through their darkness to show it to them. It's like, look, I'm just abused by you. Do you see what you're doing? Now, those that do get abused physically or sexually, you could say, they have a choice. They can heal from that, or they can become it, because some do become it. So, but to heal, yes, very difficult. Some did get pulled into the victim energies, but it's really up to the soul, because some do become abusers themselves. That's why I bring it up. Those that have been sexually abused become sexual abusers themselves, and it goes on, and it's a trap that they can't get out of. And some of those souls kind of go into an exit, meaning that they can also be recycled, meaning that they kind of lose their meaning. They just go into a level of darkness that they can't come out of. And they get pulled into that cycle until they no longer need to exist. So there is much, and some of you are involved with that, clearing a soul like that to release it from existence. Of course, you're all multidimensional beings, and you're becoming more responsible, understanding. So on an energy level, while you are on a spiritual path, yes, to connect to the Earth's frequency, what part of Earth that you are connected to raise its energy field, to connect to what you feel is necessary for not just growth, but just at a higher level. But at a higher level, that's not naive. You go into the higher dimensions and you're not naive about anything. Because you can be in the higher dimensions and still be clueless. So maybe you come here to not be clueless, to have knowledge of the dark realm. So when you go back into the fifth and sixth and higher dimensions, you have knowledge of this, you understand a world like this. And sometimes you have to go through a victim type of scenario to truly understand it. Because remember, when you're in the higher dimensions, 10th, 11th, 12th dimension, a lot of you don't deal with these types of situations. You don't deal with these bills, they don't deal with sexual manipulation, don't deal with any of that. You might, to a certain level, there is some astral attacks here and there, but some beings, it's like we don't have the knowledge of what this world can offer. So you come here to dive into this Earth's frequency, yes, go into the hell planet, you can say, and bring that knowledge back with you as you exit, and share that knowledge, not to cause suppression, but to more awareness of this type of world and what it can do and how to heal it and to bring it out of this as you're doing now, but so it doesn't get trapped again. So you're wanting to protect your planet, basically, because you incarnate here. So this planet is yours. It's the idea is for it to, why this world was created is to show you the darkness of this universe. This is one of many planets so many higher dimensional beings. You get a high vibration, but it's like you come here to be more of a humanitarian. So you heal the darkness. To eventually this universe will become more balanced, whereas universe, yes, comes into completion. It's accomplished what it needs to complete, and it itself goes into spirit. The body of this universe goes, and you go somewhere else. Of course, I realize that's not for everybody to understand that. You have a long ways for that, but a universe, a planet, they all have structure in their experiences too. But it's going to stick around as long as it needs to until the lessons are fully learned. Because what would be good if it just, you don't learn what you need to learn here and then the world just comes to an end? It's like it hurts more not learning it. So it's going to stick around as long as it can, as long as it's necessary for the souls that incarnate here to learn what they need to. Obviously, many of you are healing a lot of the challenges here, so you don't have to go through the challenges anymore. So it's a less negative challenges, but once again, you still retain the knowledge. It's like when you don't have certain problems on this world, you still go to those beings that incarnate here. It's like, by the way, this is what happened on this earth. Give them a download, you can say. Because when this world becomes peaceful, because it will happen eventually. It takes a while to get there, though. You'll be like sitting down, it's like, what a peaceful day, and you get this download. Wow, this world was chaotic at one time. And that doesn't mean it's trying to bring back the chaos, but it's here to just remind you, this world has problems, yes. And where those problems came from. You can say this planet is brought this way through disagreements. So there's a lot of infighting still going on, as you can see. There's different alien groups that just cannot get on the same page with each other. That's another reason why this is occurring. As you can see in society, there's a lot of infighting going on. Because you're all part of these different groups and you're just not getting along with each other. Some of you are getting along, you just don't want to fight. You might not agree with everyone, but you don't want to fight, and that says a lot. That's very powerful. But some are still trying to pick a fight, obviously. They haven't quite found their inner peace just yet. But that's what you're working towards.